This is the Aquila 70, the flagship of Aquila's powercat range. It's 70 feet long, the best part of 27 feet wide, and it has a pair of Volvo Penta D13 1000 horsepower engines. The price to this spec is around $5 million. Let's get on board and have a closer look. I'm Jack Haines, welcome to YachtBuyer. There's quite an interesting formation here on the bathing platform. This platform here goes down to the water, but it doesn't sink down flat. It actually tilts down, and there's a winch at that end, and then you can draw the tender up into this garage area that way. And actually Aquila built a 14-foot catamaran tender that fits perfectly on this platform. Either side you've got storage units here. They've got bespoke storage for gas tanks if you want to do a bit of scuba diving, and then you have really good access up both sides past these massive boarding gates, and you're in to the cockpit, and you're just hit by that beam immediately. It's so wide back here. There's loads of space to move around, plenty of floor space, but you've still got these freestanding chairs around the table, a nice big bench around there. It's a really comfortable space, and of course you can fully enclose this area as well, so you can make it an extension of the saloon even if the weather isn't so good. Down here you've got a little bit of storage here just to throw bits and bobs, quite a convenient space right by the back of the boat. And then of course you have incredible side decks up both sides past the wheelhouse. Ease of movement is a theme aboard this boat, and no more so than here on the side decks, where there is just a ridiculous amount of space to pass up and down these decks. You can pass people very easily. Really substantial cleats here. You can see these Aquila branded pop-up cleats. They look really smart. You've got two of them here, sort of amidships, and then you've got really nice substantial railings that can steady yourself on as you make your way forward to this vast foredeck area. Really big sunbathing space here. Pop-up backrests here on the sun pads so you can make them a bit more comfortable. You've got flip-up sections there, and those are the hatches down to the master cabin below to give a bit of natural light. We'll look at that later, of course. This is a really nice area. It's sunken down. You've got two benches here, built-in cup holders, pop-up lights. The boat's moving along at displacement speed. Certainly in the evening, I think this would be a really nice place to sit, and just as nice when the boat's at anchor as well. Now this is a real liveaboard vessel. It's designed for people to live on board for long periods of time, and you need good storage for that. And there is masses of storage up here. You've got huge bins right here in the forepeaks, both the same size. They've actually got a paddleboard on its end in there. It's so deep. It's absolutely massive. More storage here either side of the anchor locker, and then underneath here you have access to the windlass. But it's all very easy to get to, and just really useful storage space for sticking all your cruising gear in. Now this is a feature that I really like. You can walk between the sun pads. There is in fact another cushion that you can put in here to make this even wider, but you'll have noticed there's no staircase in the cockpit up to the top deck, but you have this central staircase here. It's nice and shallow right at the top to the top deck, where you have this Portuguese bridge. It's blocked off around that side because you have seating there, so you can't put a door there, but around this side you have side door access. You also find a wing station. So this boat is on twin shafts, it has thrusters, and this Volvo joystick will combine the props and the thrusters to give you effectively pod drive control. So you can twist it and the boat turns, push it, the boat moves sideways. Takes all of the intimidation out of handling a big wide boat like this. And this is a really good spot because I've got a fantastic view right forward, right aft, and of course alongside. And then from here we are into the pilot house, and this is sort of the main driving position for the boat. It's a really nice position actually. Three huge Garmin screens here, fantastic elevated view over the bow, these lovely fully adjustable STID seats, and I like the fact that you've got controls for the chart plotters here right under your fingertips. They are touchscreen, but obviously they're a long way from the seat, so to be able to control those remotely from this panel under your hand is great. And you've got joystick control here as well, pair of throttles, obviously a nice big steering wheel. It's a really nice setup, and it's nice to have these three forward-facing seats and then the chaise along there, so people can keep the skipper company on the journey. Now this boat has obviously got zip-in panels. You can have this fully enclosed with sliding doors aft, but this just opens it up a little bit more. You've obviously got hatches overhead as well to give you a bit of ventilation. This area is also air conditioned. And then we can head out here to the sun deck. It's not huge, but it's a nice space. This is where The barbecue is really, really good wet bar here actually. This is a really nice space, loads of room for freestanding furniture, but of course you'd open all of this up. You've got the big table there that you can open up to double in size. You can really easily serve the people sitting in that space over there. Right, let's have a look at the saloon. So here we are in the saloon, and the first thing to mention is that the furniture in here is very flexible. You can really pick whatever you want. This is Natuzzi, which is an Italian brand, but again, if there's a particular designer that you like, well, Aquila can fit that for you, and it's really nice, it's stylish, it's clean, it's bright and contemporary. I think it works really nicely, and I love the sociable aspect of having the split bar and galley. So this is a proper bar area here with the stools opposite the lounging area. You've got amazing domestic size appliances here, built-in coffee machine, wine fridge, microwave, huge double fridge freezer, really, really good stuff. And then you have a separate proper galley over here. And again, this is well positioned because it's opposite the dining table, so it's very easy to take food over there. And another nice touch is if you've got a big pile of washing up that you just want to forget about, hit this button and you've got this very fast screen, and that pops up to give you a bit more privacy if the crew are in the galley, where they will enjoy some seriously nice domestic appliances. Again, you've got an enormous oven, really, really good size, massive induction hob here. Yeah, really all the kit you need to have a properly decent meal on board. You've got extraction overhead as well. And then behind me, you have the lower helm. It's an option, but I think every boat will have it. There's no steering wheel here, but you have throttle control. So you have the joystick here. So if you want to be down here controlling the boat, then you have that option. And of course you have all the other controls for the boat under your fingertips. Navigation screens here. And then you have the C-zone system. So if I swipe through this screen, you've got all the boat's functions underneath your fingertips. You can control everything from here. Really nicely laid out and easy to get to. If we head further forward, we have the master cabin and one of the guest cabins. Into the master cabin then, which is sectioned off by this sliding door. And this is a fantastic space. Again, it benefits from almost the full beam of this thing, around 27 feet, and it just feels absolutely vast. Over this side, it's all dedicated to storage. Basically, you've got full height hanging locker, you've got drawer storage, a little bureau down there, and this is quite a nice touch. You've got built-in induction chargers on both sides, and they're actually dotted throughout the boat in really useful places. So you just put your phone down and know it's charging. TV here, sound bar obviously. Then on this side, in the other hull, this is where your bathroom is, and again, it's a really lovely space. Twin sinks here, obviously with the blinds up you'd have a nice view out over the water. Enormous shower cubicle, loads of headroom in here. You've got a rain shower head and a separate one shower, and then of course a separate toilet compartment, some privacy over there. So if we move aft in the port hull, we're into one of the guest staterooms. See the bed is across the hull here, making the very most of these hull windows. Not that we're getting the benefit stuffed inside the show here, but you can imagine in a bay or an anchorage that would be absolutely lovely. Massive headroom, completely flat floor around this double bed, bedside tables on both sides of course, and loads of storage down this side, full hanging storage here. So again, loads of place for guests to put their clothes away, and they've got a really nice bathroom here as well. Again, towering headroom, really nice separate shower cubicle. It hasn't got a rain shower head, but it's still very nicely fitted out. Bit of storage and a nice big mirror as well. Feels very luxurious. But this is not the end of the guest accommodation on this boat. So this area is effectively linked right to the top deck, because there's a staircase from the pilot house down to the saloon, and then immediately behind that there's this staircase down here into the starboard hull, where on this boat you have a utility space. We've got the big washer dryer here and loads more storage, but you can have this as another cabin if you want, as a bunk cabin. Talking of cabins, there's another really nice guest stateroom here, again with that bed aligned across the hull, so you can really enjoy the view out of those hull windows. Television that flips down from the ceiling, more storage over that side, and then another really nicely finished guest bathroom with a big separate shower cubicle. And it's nice to have that flexibility of the other cabin option. If you're going to charter the boat out, then I imagine that extra sleeping space would be really valuable, but liveaboards I'm sure will appreciate having just space to store stuff and have a separate sort of laundry room as well. Through this door you have the day head, so you can nip off the main deck down here to a day head that not only has a toilet but has a shower as well. Sink over here of course, and a bit more storage, and then from here a really easy link in to the starboard engine room. Of course, this being a catamaran, you have an engine in each hull, so the engine has an engine room all to itself. We're in the starboard hull at the moment. Volvo Penta D13, 1000 horsepower. Top speed of this boat is 27 knots and it cruises at about 20 knots when you have a range of around 450 nautical miles. Take it down to displacement speed and I say you probably get easy double that. And this is a really nice space because the engines aren't crammed into the same room. There's loads of room to maneuver around them. You've got really clear sight of fuel filters, the ancillaries. The level of the deck drops down here where you've got great access to one of the 2 generators. And you can probably see here there's a ladder. This is a quick inspection hatch that you can get to from the cockpit. So instead of having to run all the way down here in an emergency, you can lift that hatch and be down here very quickly indeed. Now over here in the port hull is where you find the crew cabin, and it's quite clever because it's accessed from outside the interior, so the crew have totally private outdoor access to this area. As you can see, you have a pair of bunk beds here. You also have a little workstation here. You can lay out charts here, do a bit of paperwork. And from here, the crew have full control, or full oversight, I should say, of all of the boat system. You have another Garmin MFD down here. You have the C-Zone system. And you also have all of the manual switching in this panel here as well. So they can control everything from this cabin back here. They also have a separate bathroom. And through here, you have access to the port engine room. And actually, it's a nice enough space that you could use this as an ad hoc guest cabin, certainly for kids. It's not an enormous space, but it's well designed. So there you have it, the top of the pile of the Aquila range. And for the size, if you're looking for a liveaboard boat, something to do long-term cruising on, it really has got a lot going for it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time we upload a new video.